we know that this country had a ton of racism in it and still has repercussions from it and still has active racism today to some degree. But these solutions don't appear to be working and therefore don't seem like the right ones. And this is the point that you made earlier. Like look, we tried it.
Yep.
We've tried it. And this, so I will say now, I guess I didn't ever really think that much about it. But I was absolutely in favor of affirmative action. 100%. And people have asked both of us in the last few years, like, what have you changed your minds about? Really, since Evergreen, since, codes, all of these things. And this is one of the first things that occurred to me when I started thinking, yep, I was wrong about affirmative action. And the decision by the Supreme Court on June 29th of 2023 with regard to using race as an element in admissions at Harvard and UNC, in which they said, you can't do that, that was the right decision. I feel certain that was the right decision. And I guess one more thing. The dissent, Sotomayor's dissent, is, frankly, unfortunately, also whiny and self-indulgent. And I don't see that. And again, I didn't read all of the opinions for the majority that concurred, nor did I read the other dissenting opinion by Jackson. But both Jackson and Kagan joined this one, so presumably, signed off on it. And this isn't particularly egregious, but, well, now I'll read it. This is, again, from Sotomayor's dissenting opinion. At bottom, the 6 unelected members of today's majority upend the status quo based on their policy preferences about what race in America should be like, but is not, and their preferences for a veneer of colorblindness in a society where race has always mattered and continues to matter in fact and in law. What is the word unelected doing there?
Yeah.
Everything about this is predicated on previous decisions by the court. Also, Sotomayor presumably understands that she herself is unelected as well, as are the other 2 who dissented. So we've got a Supreme Court, no members of which are elected. We all understand that. They are deciding issues of law and interpretations of the Constitution. This just seems mean-spirited and small.
Well, it's an allegation of legislating from the bench. Interesting that it is coming from the bench.
I get that, right? But it's so hypocritical in this case.
Yeah, it is.
And writing that in, like, that is now, that's in the annals of American history now. Like that aspersion cast.
Yep. No, it's remarkable, and it's absurd and tone deaf. But I did a little looking into the history of affirmative action. Not at the legal level. I was interested to discover that actually the term comes from John F. Kennedy.
Oh, yeah.
And that it was explicitly about reaching a colorblind state for society. Mm-hmm. And I think that this is actually, in some ways, the important litmus test. What we have on the left, the people who are decrying this ruling, is a hyper-race conscious view of the country. Right? That is a positive thing, that it is a required thing. This is not the vision. This is a hijacking of affirmative action, a failed policy for a new policy, which is hyper-race aware.
Yep.
And that, in and of itself, is an invalidation, right? That is not what the policy was designed for. The policy was designed to temporarily be used to redress a past wrong so that it would be no longer necessary. And to the extent that the policy did not make itself obsolete, that's really all you need to know as for whether or not it's a good policy.